Hello, broadcasters. Welcome to episode number 64 of the StreamYard Live Town Hall. My name's Gage, and I'm here with Dan Briggs, of course. Dan, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. It's crazy times, but it's good to be here. I think it's a very good time to live stream. Just the whole community aspect's really important right now. So glad to be here. How about you?
Yeah, definitely wild times. It's been an eventful week, and yeah, no better time to live stream than now, I suppose. For anyone new here, we do these streams every single week, Sundays at 6 p.m. Pacific, to make sure we're staying in tune with you guys, answering your questions, and using our own product. And we always make sure we mention our three pillars every single week, which are ease of use, stability, and professional streams. So if you're about those three things, StreamYard is the tool for you. So let me check out some of the comments here. Lots of people joining in tonight. Thanks for hanging out with us, especially during these interesting times.
Hey, man, everyone's at home. It's a great time to watch live streams.
That's true. We're probably competing with lots of other things going on. So thanks for choosing us. Casey, nice to see you here. Hello, everyone. Hoping to hear reports of people here not only surviving but thriving through COVID-19. Yeah, I've been hearing lots of great stories because, like, it's always an opportunity to sort of innovate and pivot, right? So even some of the places that are hit the hardest, there's room to sort of think outside the box and start sort of pivoting, if only for a short period of time. You were talking about some interesting stuff going on, right, Dan?
Yeah, it's one of those things where some businesses are getting hit really hard, especially kind of in-person stores. But then internet businesses, not all of them, but a lot of them are doing pretty well. But there's a ton of companies that are, maybe their core business isn't doing very well, but they've come up with a bit of a spin on it where, a restaurant maybe that's shipping their stuff instead.
Yeah.
Like there's quite a few doing well with that. There's a lot of like online teachers doing really well right now because they're tailoring their content to the fact that everyone's at home.
Yes.
A lot of opportunities, right? I think.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with the educational stuff. They seem to have been very fast. I mean, they kind of have to because kids still need to go to school and learn, but they've been very quick on sort of adapting and coming up with innovative ways to teach. So there's lots of good stuff in that area. Brody saying hi from North Carolina. Nice to see you here. Ari Anderson, thanks for hanging out with us. Some funny comments in the chat. Scott, nice to see you here. We always mention every week, make sure you tune in to Ross Brand's show, StreamYard Connect. It's Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern. It's not this week, but it'll be the following week, so be sure you tune into that. Another important thing to note was there were a couple outages this week, not on our end, but on YouTube and Facebook's end. It was just mostly due to the traffic. They just have an insane amount of traffic right now because everyone's at home and on YouTube and Facebook. It was fairly short period of time, which is nice. It wasn't like there was that crazy outage Facebook had a while back that was like it was over a day, wasn't it? That was crazy. This was only about 30 minutes ish on both platforms, and if you were affected, you would have received an email that just said what was going on. But yes, although that we have a limited control over that, we do apologize because interruptions are unfortunate, and that's why, especially now, we're really focused on stability. It's the main thing we're focused on during this time, just because we're also seeing extremely high usage. So we just want to make sure that we can meet that demand and make sure that you guys are able to stream during, because it's a very important time to stream. So we want to make sure that you guys can do that. And there were some cool Facebook stats that were mentioned. Dan actually found them that were really impressive. So obviously Facebook is seeing a bigger impact than most organizations. So their total messaging was up 50% in the last month, which when you're the size of Facebook, that's pretty crazy because it means going from, I don't know how many messages they send, but what they were sending, I guarantee you, was high. So 50% more than that is insane. Usage of Facebook is up 70% in Italy overall. Again, just absolutely nuts. And then a stat relevant to all of you, Instagram and Facebook live views have doubled in just a week. That was specifically in Italy, but now it's happening all over the world. Usage is going up like crazy. So it's due to these things that you saw some of those brief brief outages.
Yeah, they're basically trying to prioritize. Like Facebook has so many servers, they have so many engineers. Most of the engineers, probably all of them, are at home. So yeah, they're trying to keep everything up and handle it all. So props to them for staying up.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not a position I would envy, right? It's like you don't usually when you're designing something, you don't usually account for every person in the world using it at the exact same time. But I'm sure Facebook has probably thought about it though, given how big they already are. So.
And same thing with YouTube. There was a small outage on YouTube, and they recovered fairly quickly. I think probably through throttling, I'd imagine, just reducing the bandwidth of everyone is my guess.
Yeah, actually, that's an important thing to keep in mind is because of how much traffic YouTube has. Usually there's some human intervention on flagging, like when people flag a video, or when AI flags a video, there's usually a human counterpart that comes in and double checks that that's a correct penalty or I guess flag. And because of how many people are live streaming right now, they're not able to do that, and a lot of it is just the AI, and there's lots of mistakes being made. So that's something to be aware of. If you randomly get a warning or content taken down when you didn't do anything wrong, it's likely due to that. It's because there's just so many people going live, so the machines are kind of the only ones responsible right now.
Yeah, they probably have a reduced workforce as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because no one's in. Yeah, everyone's at home. Toya, thanks for hanging out with us. Eileen, nice to see you here. Neil watching from YouTube today. Very good. Martine, seamstress / dressmaking. One of the interesting things of way people are pivoting. Yeah, that's an interesting one. I had not heard of that, but yeah, that's certainly a useful one. I heard rumors that Tesla was going to start producing ventilators, which is admirable.
Cool.
But yeah, I'd be curious if any of you have been shifting what you're doing based on the events. I would love to hear your stories and what's going on. Let us know.
Yeah.
Hey, Michael, good evening to you. Eddie, nice to see you here. What's going on? Same old. Just hanging out at home. Dave watching from Periscope. Nice to see you, Dave. It's been a minute. Patricia, nice to see you here. The Blind Advocate Network says, hello, everyone. I have a question. Are we going to talk about accessibility in this town hall? We certainly can. I think I saw some of your posts. I don't recall. I think your first name might have been Nick. So if it's not Nick, I apologize. But I think your first name was Nick. Yeah, accessibility is important to us. It's something we always want to continue to improve. So if you ever find an accessibility issue, make sure you email contact@streamyard.com. That's the easiest way for us to sort of organize it and manage it. One of the suggestions, I think it was you that made that was interesting, was caption support for as far as accessibility, because some platforms have an option, I think specifically YouTube, to make basically requests to stream in captions from someone else that is doing captions while someone's live streaming. And that's very interesting. I mean, it's definitely something we're open to. I didn't actually even know that YouTube offered that. So thank you for that. That's good to know. And yeah, it was, we'll hopefully get back to it soon. We sort of spent a lot of time on it. Do you remember when it was, Dan? Maybe a few months ago that we sort of focused on it?
Yeah, 3-4 months maybe.
3-4 months. Because we used to not be really accessible at all. And then we really focused on it and made sure we supported at least the bare minimum as far as like being able to use screen readers and making sure everything was labeled. But there's still a lot of room for improvement. So if you have ever any feedback or suggestions, feel free. Brody says, when going from one photo overlay to another, the screen glitches cutting to the webcam for a split second during the transition. Any way to make transitions between seamless? Yes, that is true, and we're aware of that. I think we're actually, that's our fault, Brody, so there's not actually a way around it, but it will be fixed relatively soon. Is that right, Dan?
Yeah, we're looking into that. Well, actually, last week I noticed it, and I known about it before, but last week when we were showing some images, it reminded me, oh man. So yes, we're aware of that one. Thank you.
Yoo-hoo from Boston. Nice to see you here, Andy. Hopefully I'm saying your name right. I'm not 100% sure. Casey says, breweries are now making hand sanitizer. Car manufacturers are making respirators. What's your pivot? Yes, let us know. I don't think we haven't really had to pivot much. We just have to make sure we can keep up with everyone who's pivoting while using live streaming is sort of where we're at.
You betcha.
Christmas on Crestline says, howdy from Kansas. Howdy to you. Sebastian made it to the town hall. Nice to see you here. Yeah, if you guys have any questions for us or subjects you want us to cover, let us know, and we'll do our best to get to them. Alexander says, hey guys, StreamYard user here. Love it. Just curious if there's a plan to add the features to be able to play media on StreamYard. I'd love to be able to play a video similar to OBS. So I don't know if you already know this, Alexander, but you can actually upload short videos as overlays. So in addition to PNGs, you can upload MP4 clip. That's actually how we did the intro tonight, is just playing an MP4 clip. I know a lot of people want those to be longer, and that's actually happening very soon. We're going to be increasing the length on those, so you'll be able to upload longer videos. And later on down the road, we're hoping to add more media options, because I know that's a big part of a lot of people's streams.
So yeah, it's coming.
Yeah, it's coming. But in case you don't know, yeah, there is one option now, and screen sharing. You can actually screen share for longer stuff. It's not. If you have two screens, it's actually a pretty nice solution. If you just have one screen, it's sort of a hassle, but you can always open the video with Chrome and then screen share the tab with audio. That actually works pretty well. And he says, we had a spectacularly successful startup pitch event last week. 5 founders, 2 investors, outstanding audience participation. Thank you, StreamYard. That's awesome. That's great to hear. Yeah, I haven't really thought about that, but I imagine pitch contests and all that kind of stuff must be happening online now, so that really must be interesting.
That's cool. Yeah.
Jaden says, I have a question. Can you make a video on how to make your face bigger? We don't have a video on it, but like if you just on the tiles at the bottom where you go to add guests, there's a picture of a little person, and you can use that to full screen people. So you can use that to make Dan larger. I think that's what you're talking about. Technically, it makes his face bigger. You could also move closer to the camera. That would be another option. But if I'm misunderstanding, let me know.
Yeah, or, and I think we mentioned this, might have been last week as well, is like if you're just trying to say zoom in your feed, you can use, like, especially if you have a Logitech camera or something, there are several programs from Logitech that allow you to just edit your camera, basically. Like right now, mine's actually zoomed in slightly.
Miss Buffy still can't link StreamYard to FB. Well, you should be able to. Make sure you like StreamYard. If you go to StreamYard.com/contact, we have live support there that can help you out. The most common things I usually see for that is when someone initially connected Facebook to StreamYard, they selected specific permissions and didn't check a particular group or something like that. And then when they're going to add that group, it's not in the list. That's the most common one. That might not be yours, but if that it is something like that, you can change that on Facebook. You go to business integrations, and there's an option under StreamYard that will say view and edit. And if you click view and edit, there will be a bunch of checkboxes next to groups. And if you check your group, then it will appear. But either way, message support on our Facebook page. StreamYard.com/contact has a direct link, and they can help you out. Statue says, any news on when we'll be able to add more than 6 people to a stream? Like we were talking about before, our main focus right now is to just make sure everything's super stable. So we're just 100% making improvements on that. I do know more than 6 people is really important to people. So it is on the list. I don't have any dates or anything like that, but we're well aware of how important it is to people, which means it's important to us. We also might make some additions as far as like maybe a queue, so you can have more than 10 people in the studio, because I know a lot of people, especially with conferences, are having more people that they're running through with panels and things like that. So we want to make sure we meet those use cases. So it's definitely on our mind. George, yes, the 30-second limit is still in effect, but it will be increased relatively soon. Trucker says the 4K, 5K, and 8K option is not available sometimes during busy hours. I assume you're talking about on YouTube. It's probably the case on other platforms as well. In fact, I don't even know if other platforms have 4K. Most of them certainly don't have 8K. But yeah, YouTube's now defaulting to 360p and 480p for most people, just to try to minimize bandwidth. So yeah, it doesn't. That makes sense. Something to be aware of. I don't personally watch too many videos in that high definition, but it is good to know. Chris says, suggestion, create a way to go live to a Periscope group and not public. Yeah, I've saw a couple people mentioning that recently, Chris. And if it's possible for us to add that, we'll certainly look into it. I'm not sure if we're actually given that ability in the Periscope API, which is basically how we talk to Twitter. But we'll look into it and see if it is possible for us to give you that option, because it would definitely be a cool thing to support.
Yeah, that's interesting.
D. Scott says, can I stream to FB on the free version from YouTube? You can stream to FB on the free version from StreamYard. Maybe I'm misunderstanding the question, Scott. But yeah, on the free version, most features are available. So you can go to any individual platform you want. So as long as it's not a multi-stream, you can go to Facebook, you can go to YouTube, you could go to any one of them. It's just one at a time though. But yes, you can go to Facebook.
And if you're asking if you can stream to both, that's what the basic and pro plans are for.
Yes. Michael Daniel says pinning posts would be great. I assume Michael's talking about the comments. Yes, that's another thing that comes up a lot. Co-host controls and the ability to manage that. Let's see here. It's got lots of comments here. William Smith says enchanted waiting room. Maybe if you're talking about the extra queue, yes, and a bit larger queue would certainly be nice. Tech Teacher says, your platform is amazing. I just learned about it yesterday and streamed today. That's great to hear. What'd you stream about? It's probably something educational, I guess. Were you teaching class or something like that, Tech Teacher?
And on Periscope, you don't see that every day. Welcome aboard.
Dave would like more layout options and the guest big and host small. Yes, there's been several, probably months now, people wanting that. It is, we hear you. It's on the list. Like I said before, it's just we're trying to keep up with all the increased demand and make sure that it's as stable as it can possibly be. So that's sort of our focus right now. But all those things are on our list.
I was gonna say, but there are also several things in the works that are hopefully coming quite soon.
Yes. Bonnie has a question about multi-streaming, and yes, Bonnie, you can multi-stream directly on StreamYard. You don't need any other applications. And on the basic plan, you can go to 2 places simultaneously, and on the professional plan, you can go to 5 places simultaneously. And there's no restrictions on the type of place. That's always a common question. Like you can go, if you want to go to 5 Facebook pages, you can go to 5 Facebook pages. Personally, I wouldn't recommend that. I would probably just go to 1 and share it to the other pages. But some people like to go to 5 Facebook pages, and if you want to do that, you can do that. Same thing with YouTube, 5 YouTube channels, 1 YouTube channel, 4 Facebook. You get the idea. Any combination you want, you can do. Brian, that is kind of you. Nice to see you here. Hope you're healthy and doing well. Trucker wants to know when the iOS app is going to be out. I don't have a date on that for you, but I know mobile hosting is important to people, and it is. We are aware of it. Michael said he had Miss Eileen on the show this past week, and it was great. Good to hear. Yes, Eileen is a fantastic guest. Chris was watching on Periscope but felt lonely. Man, you got to stay on Periscope. I like seeing the Periscope icons. Bring some friends over to Periscope.
Dave Brown's always over on Periscope.
Yeah.
Usually, he's probably on multiple platforms.
Jaden says, why is there a monthly streaming limit? Yeah, that's a good question. It's because it costs a lot of money to host live streams. Same way you pay your internet service provider, we pay for bandwidth as well. And we also, StreamYard's unique compared to programs like OBS and programs that are downloaded on the computer, and that when you're using OBS, it's your own computer that does the work. Like your own computer does the mixing and the encoding and sends the stream out. But on StreamYard, you're able to use like really low power computers like Chromebooks, because StreamYard infrastructure is what does the mixing and the encoding and uses the bandwidth to send it out to all the different places, rather than you having to do that from your own computer. And all that costs money. And we try to give as much as we can for free. And we thought 20 hours is the limit. And for most people, that's a lot. Like you could easily host, you could have a 2-hour stream every week, 2-hour podcast every week. So we figured it wasn't too limiting for people, and it allowed us to control our costs and make the best product possible for those that do decide to upgrade. Hopefully that is a fair answer.
Yeah, and also I guess the one other thing to I think that's a very good answer. The other thing to hit on is there are a lot of products that'll come out in not just live streaming, in every space, where they're like, oh, we're free and we're free for life and it'll always be free. And then a year later they're out of business because they don't make any money.
Yeah, or they're just not free anymore.
They can't pay developers and so we want to give away as much as possible, but we also want to be very sustainable, so we're always here.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point too, and there's benefits to it not being free, right? It not being free allows us to have the resources to make the product better and better and improve it for everyone, for free users and paid users. Andy's going live on Twitch Tuesday night. Awesome. Yeah, I've been meaning to check out Twitch more. I've been seeing, especially now that with all the craziness going on, there's a lot of musicians and I guess DJs are also musicians, but a lot of people in the music industry doing live streams on Twitch. So yeah, if you're into music, Twitch is definitely a good platform for that. And we've been seeing lots of people in the entertainment industry using StreamYard. We actually Rosie O'Donnell did a charity stream for the Actors Fund, where they actually raised over I think it was over $700,000 the last time I saw, which is pretty admirable. And they had tons of awesome guests on, and they're using StreamYard. She brought in like Neil Patrick Harris and Sarah Jessica Parker and like all kinds of people, and tons of people were donating to the charitable cause, and it was awesome. I also saw a live stream, if anyone's familiar with Death Cab for Cutie, which is a band, and the lead singer for that band, Ben Gibbard, is streaming on YouTube, so check him out as well. There's tons of that is I guess one of the, I guess I shouldn't say upsides, but you do get to see lots of people online now that you wouldn't normally see, which is interesting. I saw a really cool, he wasn't using StreamYard. It would be awesome if he was, but I saw Conan was doing some content now that he's stuck at home, and it was pretty funny seeing him try to set up a home studio and stuff. So yeah, there's some little upsides to the negative situation.
Yeah, it's cool seeing people, especially like with Rosie O'Donnell, and there was some others doing like a talk show where like talk show kind of was their thing on TV, right? And now taking it online.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Yeah, she did a great job. She seemed totally comfortable because I think it was her first time using the product, so it's impressive. Pastor Israel Suarez says churches will use this program a lot if you connected with Bible Gateway. I'm not actually familiar with Bible Gateway, but thank you for the suggestion. I'll check it out. I'm curious if you want to let me know. I'd be curious what it is. Let me know what Bible Gateway is. Ari is a fan of the background. That's very kind of you. Thanks. I actually stole the idea from Jenny. Her last name is escaping me, but I saw her with a background that was really cool, where she just had everything. Because whenever I was thinking of backgrounds, I always had like a scenic like forest or something, and she was the first person I saw that was just, I think she just had a solid orange background and solid orange name tags, and I was watching her stream. It's like, that looks awesome, so I decided to try doing a color gradient. And yeah, I like how just the simple colors look,
and it goes well with like the background of your camera, which looks almost identical.
Oh yeah, my green screen
partially blend right into it.
Yeah
I didn't get the demo. I don't blend it at all.
Kimberly says, this has been great for using with our students during remote learning. The kids love it, and we appreciate the service and what it's enabling us to do with them. That's awesome to hear. Yeah, I love hearing stories like that. It's cool that even if it's cool that we're part of, it's cool that we can help in some way. So that's awesome. Whenever I see people using StreamYard to do educational stuff, it's awesome. Pastor Israel says, can you create a search engine for images and text? That would be a pretty big project. I imagine Google probably does a better job than us. And there's lots of good resources out there, like you know the names of some of them, don't you, Dan? Like Pixabay.
Like free images?
Yeah.
Pixabay.
Pixabay is a good one. I'm sure people in the chat will tell you there's tons of good ones out there that have, and there lots of them are copyright. Or I think it's technically royalty free is the name, but you're allowed to use them in your live stream. So check out those resources. Let's see here. William says, can anyone help me out? How much would it be for a green screen? It's actually very cheap, William. Like this one is, it's like a foldable green screen. Do you remember the name of it, Dan?
Yours is different than mine, but collapsible, like 5 foot by 7 foot green screen on it.
Yeah, it's awesome. And it was like $30, $40 with the stand, I think. So yeah, you can probably get it. You can get a solid green screen for very, very little.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Unsplash is another good resource. Sebastian saying Pexels is a good resource.
Yeah, those are all good, and they're all royalty free, and you can use them. Whereas something like Flickr, you have to be careful. Some are royalty free, some aren't. A lot more images though.
Sebastian says I've got about 20 people on StreamYard this week, and I'm pretty happy for them. That's great to hear. Glad to hear that. Thanks, Sebastian. Casey says Dan go blue instead of broken palm tree.
Because this is broken.
It's just, leaning over.
Trees aren't supposed to lean against the wall.
Nick is going live on Facebook doing meditation streams, and he's using StreamYard. Awesome. Yeah, there's I've been seeing lots of meditation type streams and like things like yoga and just fitness in general, like online workouts, which it's cool to see that now, just because very early on they still actually use StreamYard. We've had a group of people that does an online workout class with people all over. They've actually been doing it for like 10 years or more, I think. But Hangouts on Air, they used to use Hangouts on Air, but when Hangouts on Air was removed, actually before Hangouts on Air was removed, but for a while they had used Hangouts on Air, but had been using StreamYard for a long time, and they just do unlisted YouTube streams, and people join in remotely for the sessions, which is pretty cool. So they were actually able to continue their workout sessions despite the craziness, and it's cool seeing other ones pop up as well. Marie says, thank you for your service. Seth Rudetsky from Stars in the House suggested I use this now. Great platform. Awesome. Yeah, I'll have to say thank you. Seth is a very well-known radio host and just really well-known on Broadway. Let's see here. Dale says we have an open stage group Asylum Talk radio show. Check it out. I'll check it out. Sebastian says, would you ever bring white labeling to StreamYard at a different price slab? Yeah, that's a question we get a lot over email. I don't know. It's possible. We're certainly interested in supporting teams and larger companies that would be interested in using StreamYard. I don't know whether or not we'll offer a white label solution. Bonnie knows Death Cab for Cutie. Awesome.
Yeah, you were quite excited because you were saying you'd listened to them when you were a lot younger, and then now you're
when I was in high school, I used to listen to them a lot. So yeah, it was pretty cool. I think they just had a question came up, and one of our support folks was asking me about it, and they mentioned that it was someone from Death Cab for Cutie. So yeah, it's cool. Free to Laugh Now says, hey everyone, this is StreamYard, a great way to get connected with people. I must have missed something. Yeah, that one thing, I don't know why, I think your name reminded me of it. I've seen lots of stand-up comics using StreamYard, which is pretty cool. I haven't been to a show in a long time, but I used to be pretty into watching stand-up comedy, so it's cool to see them using StreamYard, because obviously they can't go to comedy clubs, so they have to do it online. Getting the laughs is a bit difficult. I think I saw one of them had like a audio interface where they were doing the laugh track, but it's cool that some of them are still doing it stand up despite not being able to go to a comedy club. And I actually have lost track of time. We're almost out of time. What'd you say, Dan? So
that's very cool. I also noticed he hopped back to Periscope.
Oh, nice. Appreciate that.
Yeah, on.
All right. Thank you everyone for hanging out with us. I'll do my best to get back to the comments. I hope you guys stay healthy, stay safe. We really appreciate you being here, and we can't wait to see you next week. This was episode number 64 of the StreamYard Live Town Hall.
Thanks for hanging out with us, everyone.